Hi, this is Frank J. Garcia, and this is my video on our genetics lesson. Now, this is going to be a very brief lesson considering we've covered a lot of this throughout the years, throughout the other lessons thus far. Genetics, the study of genes. This lesson will go deep into the command center of the nucleus that we've already discussed. Try to remember what is in that nucleus, determine the types of cells that determines the type of cell that it will be and the replication rate of that cell. Some questions to think about. What color hair and eyes do you have? Are you short or tall? Is the base of your ear attached to your head or does it flap out? And so on. Where do you think these traits come from? DNA. All organisms are made up of DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid. I butcher the name every time, I apologize. Recall from the cell lesson that DNA resides in the nucleus and is what determines the type of cell and replication rate of that cell. Now, what the DNA strand makes up are chromosomes and genes. Within those long strands of the DNA, we find sections that are considered called chromosomes that make up plants and animals. Humans have 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs. Small pieces of DNA are called genes that act as instructions for specific traits such as your hair, your eye color, your height, your skin color, and so on. What are traits? Traits are inherited from generation to generation. That through sexual reproduction, you inherit 23 chromosomes from your father and 23 chromosomes from your mother. There are two types of traits: dominant and recessive. Dominants are represented by an uppercase letter. Recessive are represented by a lowercase letter. You'll see more of this later. The combination of traits inherited from both parents will be deter, will determine the resulting traits that will appear in the offspring. As we see down below, some examples of traits that you inherit are the Windows peak or not. The Windows peak is that the Windows peak is when your hairline comes to a point in the center of your forehead. Those who can roll their tongue or who cannot. Your dominant thumb, meaning which thumb when you bring your hands together, which thumb resides on top. If your second toe is longer than your big toe, for those of you who do have a bigger toe, and have worried throughout all these years, it is not a rare occurrence. It is actually something that happens quite often. If you have short little fingers, and if they are straight or crooked, so if you were to hold your hand straight out, is your look at your fingers, are they slanted or are they more straight? Is your earlobe hanging free or is it attached to the base of your head? Do you have the Darwin's peak or no Darwin's peak? The Darwin's peak is when the inside of your ear comes to a point towards the top. And lastly, your teeth. If their spacing is also inherited from your parents. So if you think it's because of your bad brushing, then no, it's just something that you inherited. Some examples of inherited traits. There are four types of combination of traits. This is where we're going to talk more about the uppercase and lowercase lettering. So let's consider brown eyes versus blue eyes. E for brown, capital E for brown, and lowercase e for blue eyes. The possible combinations are capital E, lowercase e, capital E, and lowercase e. Every time there is a capital letter present, then that one will be the trait that is shown. Therefore, that is considered a dominant trait. Now, from what we've seen, you are more likely to see someone with brown eyes than you are to see someone with blue. That is why brown eyes are considered more dominant. So, from this example, we can see that you are three times more likely to have brown eyes than you are to have blue. Therefore, there's only one possible case to have the recessive trait. As you can see, the brown eyes I've already talked about that. And that brings us to the end of our lesson. Sorry about a little bit of the confusing lettering. I was just getting jumbled up. Still a little bit under the weather. But that is my video on genetics. Thank you for watching.